If I may have your attention, please, I would like to call the meeting of June 7th, 2017 to order, please. Roll call.
Freeholder Kelly.
Here.
Freeholder Bartlett.
Here.
Freeholder Haynes. Here. Freeholder Little.
Here.
Director Vicari.
Here. All members present. In compliance with the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Act of the State of New Jersey, adequate notice of this meeting of the Board of Chosen Freeholders has been advertised in a manner prescribed by the law. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and the prayer. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for a prayer.
Almighty God, as we gather here today, we pray for peace among all men. We ask for your blessings upon all gathered here and for your protection of our brave men and women serving in our armed forces both at home and around the world. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much. Please be seated. The first order of business is proclamation.
Thank you, Freeholder. We are proclaiming June 1st to the 7th as CPR Awareness Week in Ocean County, and this proclamation is going to be presented to Julia Thompson by yourself, and I'll read the proclamation followed by a statement from you, Freeholder. If Julia would come forward, please. Whereas CPR Awareness Week has been recognized by Congress since 2007 to emphasize that more lives could be saved if more people were educated on how to perform hands-only CPR. And whereas when someone goes into cardiac arrest, they need immediate CPR for even a chance to survive the emergency. About every 90 seconds, someone in the United States suffers a cardiac arrest, an average of 380,000 people each year, with only about 10% surviving. Among the deaths that occur, 96% are adults and 4% are children. And whereas statistics have shown that less than 20% of all sudden cardiac arrest victims receive immediate CPR due to the vast majority of people not knowing how to react to the situation or being afraid that they will hurt the victim further. And whereas an American Red Cross survey has revealed that 25% of people have been in a situation where someone needed CPR. And whereas the American Heart Association has created an easy-to-learn, hands-only CPR method where there is no need for mouth-to-mouth, only chest compressions need to be done until a first responder takes over. Now therefore I, Joseph H. Vicari, Director of the Board of Chosen Freeholders of the County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, on behalf of this board, hereby proclaim the week of June 1st to the 7th, 2017 as CPR Awareness Week in Ocean County, and urge all citizens to participate in a first aid class and learn hands-only CPR to save a life.
You know, I'm proud and honored to present this proclamation for a number of reasons. First of all, Jerry Thompson, the father of this young lady over here, Julia, is not only involved in many different civic activities, but also in business development and tourism throughout Ocean County. And it goes to show the influence of a family can do, especially the father. Julia had a project to do for the Girl Scouts, and that was CPR. And she did something very, very nice. She had 87 adults got a lesson in CPR. And her goal as a Girl Scout is to do, by the end of the season, 1,000. So Julia, just want to give us a little overview of what you're going to do and your aspirations. Let us know.
Well, I plan on working with a mobile CPR class, and we will be going to events such as Chowderfest and Pirates Day, and just taking anyone who wants to learn CPR and training them in hands only.
Good. So you know, a lot of times people say young people don't get involved, and Julia Thompson has a great future ahead of her. So on behalf of the board, I'd like to give you this, and the proud dad. Jerry, you did a great job. Okay, to continue with our agenda for today, the public hearings, please, Mrs. Mansell.
Thank you, Freeholder. These are 6 ordinances that were introduced at the last meeting. The first one, 2017-9, authorizing the acquisition of title, rights of way, and/or easements of certain parcels of land or parts thereof for road, bridge, and/or drainage system improvements along county roads, all in the County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, and appropriating $2 million therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $1,900,000 in bonds or bond anticipation notes of the County of Ocean to finance the same.
This is a public hearing today. It was introduced 2 weeks ago. It was published in the local newspapers to make sure if anyone had any questions or issues, they can come before this board. The first item is a public hearing on 2017-9. Any questions or comments on this ordinance before I close the meeting on this topic and have a final vote? Seeing none, I move that the public hearing be closed. Pleasure of the board.
I'll move the ordinance for final hearing.
Second.
A motion has been made and seconded. Roll call, please.
Freeholder Kelly?
Yes.
Freeholder Bartlett?
Yes.
Freeholder Haynes?
Yes.
Freeholder Little?
Yes.
Director Vicari?
Yes, passes unanimously. Number 2, please.
2017-10, authorizing Phase C of the installation of traffic signal upgrades, Long Beach Boulevard, Long Beach Township, in the County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, and appropriating $1,700,000 therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $1,615,000 in bonds or bond anticipation notes of the County of Ocean to finance the same.
The public hearing is now open on 2017-10. Any questions or comments from members of the public? Please come forward and state your full name and mailing address. Seeing none, I move that the public hearing on this ordinance be closed.
For the ordinance.
Second.
A motion has been made and seconded. Roll call, please.
Freeholder Kelly?
Yes.
Freeholder Bartlett?
Yes.
Freeholder Haynes?
Yes.
Freeholder Little?
Yes.
Director Vicari?
Yes, passes unanimously.
Next, Freeholders 2017-11, authorizing the construction of the Union Transportation Trail located in the Township of Plumstead in the County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, and appropriating $400,000 therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $400,000 in bonds or bond anticipation notes of the County of Ocean to finance the same.
This is a public hearing on 2017-11. Any questions or comments from members of the public? Seeing no questions or comments, I move the public portion be closed on this ordinance.
Move the ordinance.
Second.
A motion has been made and seconded. Roll call, please.
Freeholder Kelly?
Yes.
Freeholder Bartlett?
Yes with the comment.
Freeholder Haynes?
Yes.
Freeholder Little?
Yes.
Director Vicari?
Yes, passes unanimously. Freeholder John Bartle would like to make a comment. on
Mr.
this
Director,
ordinance.
just very briefly, this will be essentially pass-through money. We had to provide the money upfront in a bond ordinance, but it will be passed through back to us. That is the full amount from the state of New Jersey, I believe, through a rail trail project that the state is involved with in the very western part of the county. It only touches a portion of the county, but we want to be helpful in bringing this about. But this money will be coming back to us.
Good. Thank you, Freeholder, for your comments, and again, it's money that will come back to the county, and we appreciate all your hard work on public lands. Item number 4, ordinance 2017-12.
Yes, we did.
We did vote.
Authorizing the reconstruction of Long Swamp Road located in the Township of Plumstead in the County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, and appropriating $1 million therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $950,000 in bonds or bond anticipation notes of the County of Ocean to finance the same.
The public hearing is now open on this ordinance 2017-12. Any questions or comments from members of the public? Seeing none, I move the public hearing be closed on this ordinance.
Move the ordinance.
Second?
A motion has been made and seconded. Roll call, please.
Freeholder Kelly?
Yes.
Freeholder Bartlett?
Yes.
Freeholder Haynes?
Yes.
Freeholder Little?
Yes.
Director Vicari?
Yes, passes unanimously.
2017-13, appropriating the sum of $750,000 from the Capital Improvement Fund for development, acquisition of, and upgrades to the Barnegat Branch Trail at various locations in the County of Ocean, State of New Jersey.
The public hearing is now open on this ordinance 2017-13. Any questions or comments from members of the public? Seeing no questions or comments, I move the public hearing be closed on this ordinance.
Move the ordinance.
A motion has been made and seconded on this ordinance. Roll call, please.
Freeholder Kelly?
Yes.
Freeholder Bartlett?
Yes.
Freeholder Haynes?
Yes.
Freeholder Little?
Yes.
Director Vicari?
Yes, passes unanimously.
2017-14, authorizing construction and renovations to courtrooms at the Justice Complex located in Toms River Township, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, acquisition of furniture and fixtures, and various upgrades, and appropriating $2,500,000 therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $2,250,000 in bonds or bond anticipation notes of the County of Ocean to finance the same.
Public hearing is now open on ordinance 2017-14. Any questions or comments from members of the public? Please come forward to the microphone. Seeing no questions or comments from members of the public, I move the public portion be closed.
Offer the ordinance for adoption.
Second?
A motion has been made and second. Roll call, please.
Freeholder Kelly?
Yes.
Freeholder Bartlett?
Yes.
Freeholder Haynes?
Yes.
Freeholder Little?
Yes.
Director Carey?
Yes, passed unanimously.
Next
Freeholder
read.
Bartlett would like to make a brief comment on item number 6.
I just wanted to point out to the audience that all of these bonding ordinances have been provided for in the county's capital budget for 2017. There was none of these or any surprises. In the capital budget, you make provision for those kind of capital projects that you will be doing during the year. As the funds become necessary to do those, then we pass the bond ordinances. But this has all been, if you will, pre-recognized, if that's the right word, when we did our budget back in the early part of the year.
Again, I'd like Freeholder Bartlett again,
That's not always obvious.
and we want to make it very, not only obvious, but transparent the way we spend the taxpayers' money. Continue, please.
Thank you, Freeholder. Next, we have authorizing payment of bills contained in Bill Committee Report number 11.
Offer the bills for payment.
Second?
Any questions or comments? Seeing no questions or comments, roll call, please.
Freeholder Kelly?
Yes.
Freeholder Bartlett?
Yes.
Freeholder Haynes?
Yes, with the exception noted on summary report.
Freeholder Little?
Yes, with the exceptions as noted on the bill summary report.
Director Carey?
Yes, with the exceptions noted on the bill summary report.
And that stands adopted with the abstentions noted. We have engineering payments to various contractors, H1 through H5.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions or comments from members of the public on H1 to H5? Seeing no questions from members of the public, roll call, please.
Freeholder Kelly?
Yes.
Freeholder Bartlett?
Yes.
Freeholder Haynes?
Yes.
Freeholder Little?
Yes.
Director Carey?
Yes, passes unanimously.
Consent resolution section I1 through I27.
So moved.
Second.
Questions or comments from members of the public? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Freeholder Kelly?
Yes.
Freeholder Bartlett?
Yes.
Freeholder Haynes?
Yes.
Freeholder Little?
Yes.
Director Carey?
Yes, abstain on 4, 5, and 32, and yes on all others.
And that's on item 1.
On item 1 only, on item 1.
And then you have 2 other abstentions, I believe?
There's 2 others, I believe it's on 12 and 22.
Correct.
Okay, so 12 and 22 included in that. Thank you, Mrs. Harrison.
Moving on, Freeholder, to motions, items J1 through J6, in reference to number 3 and 4, all members of the board were present.
Offer the motion.
Second?
Any questions or comments on J1 to J6? Seeing none, from members of the public, roll call, please.
Freeholder Kelly?
Yes.
Freeholder Bartlett?
Yes.
Freeholder Haynes?
Yes.
Freeholder Little?
Yes.
Director Carey?
Yes.
1 traffic safety improvement resolution, K1.
Any question on traffic improvements? Seeing none. Roll call.
So moved.
Second?
A motion has been made in a second, so roll call, please.
Freeholder Kelly?
Yes.
Freeholder Bartlett?
Yes.
Freeholder Haynes?
Yes.
Freeholder Little?
Yes.
Director Carey?
Yes, passes unanimously.
Bid awards to the lowest qualified bidders, L1 through L8.
So moved.
Second?
A motion has been made on the bids from 1 to number 8. All bid awards, contracts, and change orders are awarded in accordance with the New Jersey Local Public Contracts Law. A motion has been made in a second. Roll call, please.
Freeholder Kelly?
Yes.
Freeholder Bartlett?
Yes.
Freeholder Haynes?
Yes.
Freeholder Little?
Yes.
Director Carey?
Yes.
There is 1 contract, item M1.
So moved.
Second?
A motion has been made in second. Any questions on this contract? Seeing none, roll call, please, on the contract number 1.
Freeholder Kelly?
Yes.
Freeholder Bartlett?
Yes.
Freeholder Haynes?
Yes.
Freeholder Little?
Yes.
Director Carey?
Yes, passes unanimously.
And there is 1 appointment, item N1.
So moved.
Second?
A motion has been made in a second. Any questions or comments on this appointment? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Freeholder Kelly?
Yes.
Freeholder Bartlett?
Yes.
Freeholder Haynes?
Yes.
Freeholder Little?
Yes.
Director Carey?
Yes, passes unanimously.
Remaining items freeholder are received items, resolutions from governing bodies, minutes and meeting notices, and correspondence received in the clerk's office since the last regular meeting.
Thank you very much. Please file in normal procedure. That concludes our normal business portion of this meeting of the Board of Chosen Freeholders. And I have two comments I would like to make today. One is just to restate our policy. That's a major concern to many of our residents, and there's no need to do another resolution. It is on offshore drilling, which a letter was sent to our federal representatives on April 28th, 2017, and a press release was done on the 2nd of May. It's the freeholders continue their long-standing opposition to drilling off the New Jersey coast, which is any kind of drilling, whether it be for oil or for natural gas. And again, I know it's a concern of many of our people, and we just want everyone to know where we stand. And this is probably a policy, Freeholder Department might go back maybe 40 years when Senator Connors was here, and Mancini, as far as the offshore drilling goes, is to protect our very, very important industry of tourism, $1.6 billion a year, and also to protect our waterways. And the second thing I want to mention is Freeholder Haynes and I attended a ceremony on the Ocean Blitz, Spade Blitz today at 9 o'clock at the Ocean County Park area. And another concern was balloons, Mylar balloons. And it's a concern with Save Barnegat Bay, with the Pinelands Alliance, probably every environmental group that you can see for the last several years. And the press release that will go out is with their support that we're going to come today. And we realize the support that the balloons have as far as the damage it does to our sea life throughout the bays and the ocean. And some are hundreds of miles away. Just high school students sometimes, or ground school students, release the balloons with a saying on it. It blows away, and where's it wind up? In Barnegat Bay or the ocean. And commercial fishermen find numerous, dozens sometimes, in their nets, which was mentioned last week at the pump out boat press conference that we had. So we're going to support that it should be done on a voluntary basis, that you buy the balloon, you don't release it into the atmosphere. California, the utility companies reported there were 1,900 outages, stated 1,900 documented in 2015 because of Mylar balloons. So not only does it disturb the bays and the ocean, but also as far as a potential problem for us with the electrical lines throughout Ocean County. So again, that was all done. It's just information for members of the public and members of the Board of Freeholders, of course, to know about it. I would appreciate the support of our media people. I don't think anyone's here today from the news media, but it is sent out and they will be informed. I hope it's published shortly. That concludes my report to the board. Moving to my right, Freeholder John Bartlett. Any comments from members of the public?
No comments at this time, Mr. Director.
Freeholder Jack Kelly.
No comments.
Freeholder Ginny Haynes.
Yeah, just one comment. I'd just like to express my deepest sympathy to the Judge Peter Ryan's family. Peter passed away. He was a Superior Court judge. He just passed away, this young man, 51 years old, Sunday morning. And he is the son-in-law of Senator Jim Holzapfel. And I just ask each and every one of you to just keep the family of Peter Ryan in your prayers and sympathies for them. Thank you.
Freeholder Jerry Little.
Joining in with Freeholder Haynes on a sad note, in our Department of Health, we have a lady there, Victoria Galata, who just does a fantastic job as more or less our business administrator, and her father passed away over the weekend. He was 94 years old, a World War II veteran, and this morning at the Board of Health we offered our condolences on behalf of the Board of Freeholders and the Board of Health. So our World War II veterans are slowly passing away. And my father's still alive, 92. He was in World War II. And also, Mr. Director, our Board of Health, just so everyone knows, we have our summer bathing beach testing program underway since Memorial Day through Labor Day. Our Board of Health does a great job with that. We have interns working, college interns who work for the Board of Health during the summer, and they actually enter the waterways, all our beaches, ocean beaches, bay beaches, lake beaches, and pull samples of the water, and then they go to our Ocean County Utilities Authority, which through Freeholder Bartlett's cooperation there, they test those water samples to make sure that the water is clean and safe for the tourists and residents here of Ocean County during the summer. Of course, our bathing beaches are a tremendous asset for Ocean County in our tourism season, as Freeholder McCary is always championing our tourism industry here. What, $4 billion?
$4.6 billion.
In revenues that are generated by tourism. So that's underway, and so far, we've been very lucky, right? Mr. Director of the Health is back there. So far, our samples have come back pretty clean, so we're happy about that, and let's hope it continues through the summer. Thank you, Mr. Director.
Any other comments from members of the Board of Freeholders or from my administrative staff? Seeing none, we now open up to members of the public. Please state your full name and mailing address. Come to the microphone, and there's a limit of 5 minutes, as you know. And we appreciate you coming today. We want to thank you.
Thank you. Hello? Not working.
It's probably on low, okay. Speak loud.
Okay,
We'll
my
hear you.
name is Shlomo Klein
Yes, I do, Mr. White.
from Lakewood, New Jersey. I'd like to speak about a development in Lakewood called Oak Street Corridor. Oak Street Corridor has 379 units that they went as one development, like Lakewood Township applied for CAFRA permit as one. They came to the township committee and got approved to an ordinance, the whole project together, with the roads and the infrastructure and everything, 379 units approved by the Lakewood Township. Now, when they came as to the Ocean County for the planning board, they're not coming as a major subdivision and have to pay impact fees like every other town in New Jersey that in Ocean County that has to pay impact fees wherever there's a major subdivision. They circumvent that they claim that there's an ordinance from Lakewood Township that they don't have to pay the impact fees because Lakewood Township said, oh, for you guys, it's a minor. We approved it in the township committee, not by the planning board, and therefore we don't have to pay any more the impact fees. Why does that concern? It should concern the county because they defrauded you from this money, but not only from the county, it made a major problem in Lakewood because the residents, because they were trying to create this ordinance to defraud you guys, we lost the opportunity to come to public comment by the planning board whenever there is a meeting. We have an opportunity to state stuff that is wrong with the project, and it's missing sidewalks, there's missing roads, because they didn't do it through the proper channels. I know the argument as always is, we asked our attorney says it's okay. So what's happening over here is that the attorney says, Lakewood Township attorney approved it, so it must be okay. So I just have to give you a little bit education how things is done in Lakewood. Every time when somebody comes to the planning and zoning board, most of the applications, if you would have gone to court to fight it, you would have been able to overturn it. Not only just for the application's sake, just the way of conduct that they have that. Every applicant that wants to come for the board meets the chairman beforehand, has private meetings with certain members of the board, and then they come to the board and they make a big show how they're approving it. So all this stuff doesn't go on the record, and it's a simple sham what's going on over there. So sometimes it comes up, they passed 50 ordinance from 2009 till 2015. 50 of them, none of them were given notice. So it's technically it's null and void. Only 2 people in Lakewood fought these ordinance, and both of them were overturned by the judge. When we asked, all the ordinance was the same problem, the township claims because we didn't go to court, it doesn't get overturned, and it's the law. And this is happening in every application. They are assuming that people will not fight it, and therefore it will get approved, and it's okay. So claiming that an ordinance that Lakewood Township did something, that it should be okay for you guys, that you should get defrauded for money, I don't think it's acceptable with that track record. So I'm just asking because today by the planning board, it's coming up, this development, part of it, they're coming as minors when they're supposed to come as major. With you approving that, with your planning board approving this, you're basically being defrauded for major money as far as Ocean County is concerned to get the impact fees. So my question to you is, if there's any way you could look into it before you approve it, because if you're just going to trust some attorney over there in Lakewood, or this was done through special, I don't believe these developers have you in your pocket. You know, I think as you guys are over that. And if you could look into it, if it doesn't make sense that 379 units, every other town in New Jersey, in Ocean County, has to pay the impact fees and they could get away with it.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
So is there any response?
I will respond, yes. Thank you.
I should sit down?
First of all, I want to thank you for coming. As I told you before the meeting, I spoke before this, we knew the topic, with our administrator, Carl Block, and also with our attorney. And anytime you have a question, this is the place to come. But I appreciate the courtesy that you gave us to let us know you were not only coming today, but I know you sat down for several hours and you spoke to us about this. And if it's an issue for you, it's an issue for us. And Mr. Block would like to respond to you.
Yes, if I could just quickly, and thank you to Mr. Klein. We did meet for an hour and a half or better yesterday. Just in general, two things I think are important. Number one is some of the issues he raises with the local jurisdiction, the local planning board and zoning board. We explained to Mr. Klein yesterday that the county, although it's a quote-unquote higher level of government, does not have the jurisdiction to monitor or to interdict the actions of either board into their actions, procedures, etc. To the issue of the developments being heard by the planning board, the Ocean County Planning Board tonight. As we explained to Mr. Klein, the planning board of the County of Ocean has jurisdiction in essentially two areas. One is access to county roads, and the other is to drainage effect on county roads. And there is not a way that you can deny access, but you can regulate it, or you can modify how it's going to be granted. In other words, there's have to be a traffic light improved, there's a road have to be widened, but you cannot say you cannot have access. With that, he raises the issue of, well, is it a minor or major? Lakewood Township did in fact approve an ordinance for this paper subdivision, I guess is the proper description, declaring that a minor subdivision is 12 lots. Now, I believe if I have my recollection is correct, the planning board attorney has said the planning board of Ocean at this point does not have, again, the authority to overrule their ordinance. However, that is for the attorney, the law firm to speak for themselves. But if that in fact is the case, then the board will be ruling on the application that is before it. Could the attorney take a look to verify that? Sure. The attorney could go back and look. However, the validity of the ordinance is not, again, as we talked to Mr. Klein, it's not something that we can challenge. That is something that needs to be challenged by a citizen resident of Lakewood. So the only thing that is really before the county planning board tonight would be the application as presented based on the regulations that either are set in state statute or the issue of ordinances adopted in Lakewood. There were some other issues, again, locally adopted, density, other issues, again, local issues, local ordinance, local town, and again, we explained that that's the same in all 33 towns. That although Mr. Klein has a very deep interest in Lakewood, the county planning board has jurisdiction, in the same jurisdiction in all 33 municipalities, and must handle them the same way. We cannot deviate and say we'll handle Lakewood in one manner or, Stafford Township in a different manner. So I think that we have come to a meeting, and he just wants to put it on the record today. I appreciate his time in coming in, asking those questions, and I think he did get a fair amount of time and explanation. I know I was, by the way, Mr. Klein, you got me in trouble. I was late for dinner, so I won't hold that against you, no problem. And if anything else, would be glad to answer the questions from the board.
Mr. Klein, if you have any other questions after the meeting, Mr. Block will be more than happy to address those. Anything else that was left out from our attorney, Jack Sharadnik? Anything to add to it?
No, I don't. I mean, what Mr. Block said is correct. I'm sorry, is this on?
Yes, it is.
What Mr. Block said is correct in terms of the jurisdiction of the county, either access to public roadways or impact on stormwater drainage facilities or plans of the county. But doesn't have ability to act, for lack of a better word, like an appellate court to, overrule a local zoning or planning board decision.
Okay, and again, the rest of those you can address, not right now, at the planning board meeting that you go to. And again, after the meeting, Mr. Sharadnik or Mr. Block will be more than happy to address any concerns. The next gentleman would like to speak. Just gave you a name, full mailing address, so it's part of the record and we can get back to you. And you have 5 minutes.
Thank you. My name is Aaron Hirsch, a resident of Lakewood. The reason why you don't really get to see us, because most of us at this hour are usually working. I ran out of work early. Mr. Klein had mentioned that you guys would want to actually know that there's more people in Lakewood that really care about this. Sadly, over the last year, I've been attending most of the planning, zoning, and township committee board meetings. And I can tell you, every time a county road is involved, they will always say, the professional will say, the engineer, they will say, this is a county road. The county will never approve this if it's not good. So therefore, you guys got to approve it, because they will overrule it. I've never seen a county actually turn around and reverse it. Now, this is where the problem's at. Whoever it is approving it on the county level, whether they're doing it on purpose or just not covering what's going on, because this is the major issue. You guys, at the end of the day, are responsible for county roads. In Lakewood, they have a problem. The applicants hire a traffic study. They pull shenanigans. I myself witnessed on a county road that on midwinter break, there's no school, counting cars. Now, there are very inaccurate traffic studies. Now, how do you give a recommendation of a traffic study that's not accurate? I mean, a number of years back, I heard there was a shenanigan. One guy pulled a traffic study showed a definite F that shows an A or B. They researched it, and Yom Kippur, the one day of the year that no one's driving in Lakewood, they did that traffic study. I mean, I've spoken my heart out to the township committee. The mayor agreed with me. The township planning board agreed with me. That might be a good idea for the applicant to pay for the traffic study, but the township should hire it. The applicant should not be telling them, hey, because we're hiring you, so now you better give, if you're not giving a good result, the next guy's not hiring you. It gotta get cut out. I think it's a shenanigan, it's a technicality, but it's very unethical, and you know who's gonna get stuck with it? You guys, because you're controlling the county roads. You have responsibility for the rest of Ocean County. The rest of Ocean County is gonna have to be paying for this stuff on these roads that we're relying on these applicants, and eventually it's gonna fall on the county to widen those roads. Now, let me just give you an example. A block away from me, there's a street called Cross Street. They have allowed development all the way up to the street. I can tell you that I don't even know if it's safe as it is. Cross Street, now they're talking about Eagle Ridge Golf Course, over 1,860 units, plus about a couple of 100,000 commercial, retail. You're talking about crazy traffic. It's one lane each way. Someone has got to widen that road. You're going to have to implement eminent domain if you're going to keep going, because this house is right off the road. There's no way it could possibly sustain. I was in a senior development yesterday, and I can tell you, if someone came over to me and said they're going to approach Homeland Security because, God forbid, if there's a nuclear plant that has emergency evacuation, none of us are getting out. And that's not my words. That's people, local residents, seniors from development. They said it's crazy. It's getting really dangerous. If you guys come anytime to Lakewood, 8:30 in the morning, even Cross Street, you cannot, in 1 hour, you cannot cover the whole town in the amount of traffic that there is. There's abuse going on there, and you guys have to protect the county on the county roads. I'm not saying the rest of Lakewood you could control, but the county roads, you really need to verify what's going on is really what's really should be, because you guys are responsible for Ocean County, and all the taxpayers of Ocean County are going to be looking to you guys, while you're going to have to be paying, and it's my taxpayer dollars also. I'm also paying for it. And we're stuck on a local level, they're pulling off the stuff, but you guys got to answer for the rest of Ocean County. Why is Ocean County picking up the bill for Lakewood? Because you guys are going to have to pay, widen these roads. And if you're not doing it to the developer who's legally responsible for it, because you're not getting accurate traffic studies, guess what? You know how many roads you're going to have to widen in Lakewood? Because they don't give a darn. They really don't. And really, you guys, I know you guys are more responsible to voters than we have locally, sadly.
Thank you, Mr. Hirsch, and I appreciate you go to the county planning board tonight. As you know, what you're talking about a lot has to do with the local town. It's called home rule. When I was mayor of my town, it was taken care of at township before the planning board. Also, to let you know, impact fees are very important, and it was always on the developer, on the county, on the county taxpayers. So again, I think, in my opinion, what you should do is not only go to the Ocean County Planning Board tonight, is also to talk to your township committee, because it's a home rule. I'm not saying that it's the state of New Jersey, it's in the state constitution, and we are limited in what I can do. I wish I can give you more information, but we hear what you're saying, I know what you said, and I wish you a lot of luck talking to the Ocean County Planning Board. And if there's anyone else who wants to make a comment.
The freeholder,
Freeholder Jack Kelly would like to respond. You can sit down now.
Only to one thing, Mr. Hirsch, you talked about a county study, and I don't know if you were reading the newspaper in the beginning of this year, but Ocean County has initiated a study of the whole quadrant of the northern part of the county. That includes Lakewood, but also Brick, Jackson, Plumstead, that whole quadrant, and Cross Street is a big part of that study. We're looking at that right now, and I will tell you, we're trying to make decisions on whether to make that a 3-lane highway with one of the lanes being a turn lane, or go onto a 4-lane highway, which would, and I've already called the governing body to let them know, that would mean that we would have to go in and take properties to widen, because there's not enough width there at the present time. That's all part of the study. I don't have the answer to that yet, so.
I'm just saying, before they get to that point, before you build it, it's a lot cheaper and easier before they approve all the building so close to the road.
I agree with you.
They should never allow on the county road come so close to the roadway. If you look right close to Route 9, the development going up now, hasn't even finished, there's still the building stage, it is super close, and any other development goes up,
Understand that county
and they're gonna
government,
take down houses, it gets.
county government has no land use board. The county planning board is not a land use board. That is always, all through New Jersey, not just through Ocean County, a municipal responsibility. So land use is a municipal responsibility. I will tell you that I know that the governing body is well aware that there's a traffic problem in Lakewood, as there are in other areas of the northern part of the county. They're aware of that, and really they should be meeting with their planning board with those types of discussions. County has no authority over that.
So I could quote you to the planning board saying that you should not listen to professionals, because the county is not the one that's making the decision. They said the county will, if it's not right, the county will.
The county has a responsibility and an authority to look at the impact of a development on county roads and infrastructure, including things like the getting rid of the water that's taken care of, and all what you have to do there. So we do have a responsibility, but that responsibility is not land use. We do not decide how many units on an acre and those types of things. That is not within the jurisdiction of county government. We're not a land use board. So you need to understand.
I could deny it. I could tell them that they should stop using that excuse that the county will deny it. Because that's what they use.
The only problem I have with telling you, I haven't heard what they're saying to you. I don't know what the proper response is.
They said the county could deny it. You're telling me that the
We
county
could deny an application the way it is if in fact the developer doesn't agree to make the improvements that we say are necessary for that development. So if a developer comes in and we say, we need X amount of dollars to make these improvements, and you have to provide that. If the developer says no, I guess there's some jurisdiction then to deny the access to the road. They couldn't come out to a county road. That's never happened. I mean, we meet with the developers, and here's what you need to comply with.
Are you able to demand an independent traffic study that they're not ordering, that's colorful?
No, but we're doing our own study anyway.
You
We're
all-
doing one right now. The county government on county
Great.
roads is underway with a study.
Yeah, but I'm saying each application, when they come for.
I know, that's a legal question. I don't know the answer to
Because
that.
would the county be allowed to?
Yes,
I'm sorry.
yes,
I
that's,
apologize.
sorry, just to bring a little more light on the traffic issue. The applicants prepare a traffic study. We review that traffic study, and if it's not the way it needs to be, we get them to correct the traffic study so that it appropriately identifies the traffic that is there. We look at when they did their counts, and if they did their counts when traffic isn't at its normal level, then we make adjustments for that, or they go back and do new counts. So we look for that information to be correct in the traffic study.
If you don't know the Jewish holiday, I mean, I always, no, thinking that that's the gateway.
Yeah,
We're familiar,
Okay.
we're
I
familiar.
guess I'm talking
Now, I broke with the policy that we usually have, to have dialogue back and forth only with the three of the professional staff, because I realize it's important, and we want you to realize that we respect your opinion. But again, it's home rule when you leave here. Go to the Ocean County Planning Board. We thank you for coming today, and
Thank you.
I hope that it solves some of your problems. And again, we grant you an extra courtesy that we usually don't do to anyone else.
I appreciate that, thank you.
Thank you very much. And your remarks are well taken. You've been a gentleman, and we appreciate it. Yes, Mr.
Just want to add one thing to the record, so there was a mention about the developer paying. The county already is assessing impact fees to those developers. They are in fact doing widenings where required, and there is a numerical dollar amount assessed by unit. That was a slip of the tongue, I'll tell you. That is by unit based on the volume coming out of that development. So there already are, the county is, for its roads, doing that. The county already is for its traffic improvements, whether it's road widening, whether it's traffic signals, and it's based on the county engineer's review of the engineering and not the developer's review.
Okay.
That's why I wanted to make sure on the record.
Anything else from professional staff? Anyone else from the public who would like to speak? Yes, sir. Say your full name and mailing address, please.
Alazar Zoraju. I reside at 25 Dayton Avenue in Toms River, New Jersey. And I'm the director of the Toms River Business Improvement District. And I'm here today simply to provide an update and express our appreciation for our, at least for now, new home for our farmers market. We just are wrapping up our third market this week that we started on May 24th. I'd like to thank Freeholder Vicari and Freeholder Haynes for coming out to the ribbon cutting, as well as Don Flynn, who was able to come and take pictures and be a part of the ribbon cutting there. Since we've established ourselves there a little bit, I wanted to take this time to show our appreciation to Cindy Beauvais, Joe Myers, and of course Mike Fury, who were instrumental in helping us arrange and prepare for this market and its new location. We had to move for two reasons. The Toms River Police and the Toms River Parking Authority had asked us to move. The Parking Authority needed the spaces, and the police felt that the former location next to the post office was unsafe for pedestrians to cross. We're very happy with our new location, and we want to do everything we can to make sure that it works out. So that being said, we keep an employee at the market all day, and we make sure that if there's any issues, I'm reachable by cell phone to resolve anything as soon as possible. Leading up to the market, we took on the Mr. Rogers approach, and that's to adopt a neighborhood expression of care. We went door to door to each house within a 50-house radius of the market, handed out a letter that had my cell phone number on it, our office number, and we had said that it's going to impact your neighborhood. People are going to park here. We had urged people to park in the parking garage, but human nature dictates that they're going to park where they see space. So far, we haven't had any major complaints, but if anything pops up, you know where to find me, and that we'll do everything we can to try to make sure this works out well. The fact that myself and Kim DiPolito, our marketing director, reside in Hickory Manor, that also helps as well, that we're part of the neighborhood there. Lastly, I want to make sure we open it up to any other county agency or nonprofit in the area. If anyone can see any need to be a part of the market or to use it as an outreach post. We're now got our feet underneath us. We know the lay of the land, and we'd welcome any other group to come out and use it as a point for outreach and community engagement. And that's all.
Good.
Thank you.
We thank you, and again, you've been a good partner with us. It's a partnership with the township, with the business community, with the Board of Freeholders. You provided great service to us, and the Business Improvement District was doing a great job to help revitalize the downtown area. And again, and that's what it's all about. You talk to different people, everybody's involved, and we have all positive things. And again, it was on a pilot program to see how it worked. The most important thing is getting support of the neighbors in the area. And so far, we hear all good things. And thank you for coming and sharing that information with us.
Thank you.
Any other resident who would like to ask a question or make a statement? Seeing none, I move the public portion of this meeting be closed. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Second?
All in favor? Aye. Motion adjourned. Thank you very much. That concludes our meeting. The local town is always
Go back to the definition of minor debate. That's what I just said, you're back to the minor major, which is that one development. All the other ones. No other town in the county has changed that. So everyone is following, they're essentially using the 3 So the only one that has done something that we define as minor. As Lakewood one development. We have the right to what they did. That's what you're asking. You want us to challenge the ordinance. Yeah, that's what I've been talking about. I got killed while we're on the same board, which I just raised, and which was the attorney. The chair. Engineering, you should let me.
That's the trick. They don't even
I was going to say, you're
the lake approved it, it's all good. And then it's too late, but you guys didn't even say anything. Well, you said, oh, that was good, so let's just go.
I personally did that. No.
I think you need to be so
we have been making some inroads and getting it because what's the county right?
I just repeated what was discussed yesterday. Like I said, until you brought it up, I had never heard of it.
The problem is, this is what I have to make, we're making legal arguments. I'm not an attorney, sir. You are getting more of them to come
You
before
don't
they,
know,
before they
you literally
decide.
have to like pay them on. They don't keep playing
Well,
until they cost them money. That's the one thing they understand.
Black and white.
I'm really sorry to
They're doing black and white.
Do you have the
Ah, somebody will challenge you, we don't have to redo it.
That will only be my business.
Let me just sit down.
That's how things are done over there, so you're going according to what they're doing. And if it's costing you money, if it's just an approval issue is one thing. It's your money that if you're being defrauded and you're letting yourself. And you know that. Yes, my intention is not to save you money, I agree. That I agree. But coming back to you guys are being defrauded.
Oh, no, I'm not gonna put it on the
And you
public
know
record.
that Lakewood.
This is
so You never said
No, I don't have, it doesn't mean it's not
Nobody ever said-
legal, but I've never seen
According
it.
to everything that I spoke to, it's not legal. But nobody challenged it in court. Yes.
The only one who can declare it illegal is a judge,
Judge, that's what Lakewood plans, so they're keeping on doing this.
who is a lawyer of the road, it's a
Yeah,
judge.
they're keeping on doing this actually, on the assumption that nobody will challenge it. But you as the county, that it's your money that you have to charge, you have to look at it as respective as your legal, not as theirs.
Okay.
That's my problem.
And I will
You are
not
assuming
publish
that
that.
their
I would,
attorney and their
on the
ordinance.
minutes, I will only put your name.
And I didn't read the ordinance that it says market, sorry.
Just send me an email with
I
It
will.
says that it's the administrative approval, the township really did the planning board
Oh,
job,
I'm
that's
so
what
sorry.
happened with it.
I forgot.
No, that's fine. I deal with North Jersey, right?
The next thing the
And
gentleman
again,
that
I
was
don't
speaking
know
with, I'm sorry.
if there
I
is
just
any
put my-
statutory
And I said, well, that's a nice way to
just
put
like
it.
there is
I forgot.
when you do a redevelopment area.
Safe to meet you, thank you.
There is actually, the township declares a redevelopment area, then actually outlines the land use to be developed there, and the board then follows up the detail.
Let's say it is that way.
Well, I'm just
It is
saying,
that
so the
way. It's
board.
still a major because the township committee did the planning board job.
No,
Point
you
is, I'm not a lawyer, I do look up other exclusions that I think are a little bit different in special circumstances. Yes, is this one of them? I have no idea. I certainly am not.
I can almost promise you that your attorney, I don't wanna make, I never met him, I just know.
I think it's going to be her.
They need, the county needs to
Whoever that
review
is,
it before
is
they,
not-
because they don't always agree, because it's hard for them to do anything once the township.
I was going to say the blonde, but it's too long. I'm sorry. On the left, the blue jacket.
She's lower the meeting.
She'll be there tonight.
Yes. And she covers a lot of the meetings, not all. And the firm is the same firm as the county council that's sitting here, Jack Schrader. That's just, they're law partners.
Which is not the
So I have to assume they're talking to each other.
where you can build the road.
Right, okay, so 60 feet past the.
I mean, I think when
past
the-
It's
Yeah, the sidewalk, like, if it's
60
something,
feet total width.
I think the board would want
outside
them
and
to
outside,
re-review,
from the center.
just to make sure
center of the
everything's
road,
in line.
Center of the
I'm
road
sure
would
that
be
they will do
30
that.
on one side of the road.
I'm just not asking you guys
Well,
to
that's-
deny
that's
it.
the outer limit.
I'm asking you guys to give a look at it, because I brought up this point, and I know about it. I know what was done.
So, in a.
I know why it was done.
50-foot in a
I know even how much
60-foot
money was
right-of-way,
paid to be done. I didn't want to put that in.
140 feet long.
I know a lot of stuff that it's not necessary to expose, you know what I'm saying?
Some of the roads right
And
now,
I don't know.
And it's
the knowledge
not,
of that.
and it does make a difference.
12 feet.
You know what I'm saying? We're not the FBI, we're not the government, we're not the, that's not the issue.
When I mentioned, I said, I don't think there's any
At
problem.
minimum, we should.
The attorney goes back and said, okay,
You know, in other.
I gave it an opinion, let me go back and double check, make sure I got it right.
That's all I'm asking.
Yeah.
I
That's
don't
all I'm
think there's
asking.
any
I'm
problem.
not asking for nine, I'm just asking if the county
On the minimum.
should scrutinize things different
When
than
we're
we're.
looking at.
Well, we didn't.
Lakewood has problems.
There are some roads.
Since we only have limited jurisdiction.
I'm talking about the limited.
Well,
I'm working
well,
on
Some of
that.
them are in Lakewood.
I'm
I
saying.
became educated yesterday.
So,
See, there you go.
and that's because there
You know,
are
we
only
don't
right-of-ways
give away
and
all our
nothing.
trade secrets at once.
But if you know that you're.
Just as an example of the traffic study, you know, Mr. Hirsch brings up, well,
Now,
yeah,
when it
we
really
might
comes
should
to
take
you
a
guys
word
for
for
it, and
it.
shouldn't
We
approve
don't.
it, if it's
We
coming
look at
back,
it,
so
you
you
can
guys know,
demand new counts.
I mean,
We can see easily
The
adjust.
county
Actually, a little bit application.
is gonna pick up the
Well,
tab
one
later
of them
on
has a
and
major
the domain or whatever it
traffic
is,
study.
and it's got steep price and it's held, it's
Single
court
family
battle,
homes.
it's a lot of
We
stuff.
know it.
First get the people in it, and then they're
There's
gonna
only a
fight it,
traffic
and
study
why
on
you got
seven.
fight. You don't
That
need
was
that
the
fight,
argument
you just-
yesterday. That traffic study
an
does
ounce
not
of prevention.
comply
What
with
you say is still on the same, we're saying that's why it's going to be a apartment. And as we said, what we're doing is.
If you're not forceful about it, if you're not gonna tell them that, because you're gonna just pick up the tab, they will step all over you.
We are doing, we're
If they
assuming
can,
it's
they
based on
will
a part in
do have any
there.
The traffic study of the applicant does not reflect.
But we don't need to.
We do your own.
County work.
They either go back, we either go back to the
I want to see
developers.
their review, they didn't want to let me see it.
Well, they either go to the developer, traffic engineer, and say, we think there is an issue. We want you to either do new counts, count at a different location, add some additional counts in. So sometimes one intersection will also, when you change it, impact another intersection further up. They can tell them, make some amendments we want to see, or they in-house themselves can say, well, you know what? This is his counts, this is his impact. We are going to assume, provided for the calculation purposes, that there's going to be measurement requirements. Therefore, the 7 is really 14, and they run out the numbers on 14.
Like, I'll take
Who does that, the applicant?
No, we do it in-house.
You'll hear that today at the planning board, when that application comes up. you'll be able
Oh,
to hear
if you guys will let me, I'll.
How the engineer addresses it, and they will permit a public comment here. and
I'll make it short, I'm not over here
I
to
think-
filibuster your.
So, the point is, the assumption that we take everything at face value is not true. That's why we have our engineers.
What I'm trying to do, I'm not trying to change your way of government, I know it's not possible.
I'm telling you, you
But what I'm trying to do is whatever you do have jurisdiction, to give Lakewood,
and that's why I came out, I
just do
took
it
a
with
forward,
open
really, I
eyes,
mean,
not
I want
with
to
fear. That's all. There is an issue yesterday that we spoke of, and there's access to County Road, and there's a commercial building, they don't provide enough parking. It will overflow on the road, this is what's happening, then we should look into it. And I see now, I'm coming up with the zoning board next Monday, that they ask for a parking waiver for 100 parks.
study, this larger study done,
200 and
the
something,
plan
they
is
asked for
right
129.
now
So
that
they
the
asked for
right
a
of
major
way
parking
66
waiver.
feet wide.
So it is on a county road.
Which is a little
So
wider
I'm
than
expecting when they
the
will come to the
state, the
county,
minimum.
you guys won't
So
allow
what
this
we're
because it's going to
proposing,
affect.
what our proposed pavement.
This is what happens, if the
is-
parking lot becomes full,
Three
it gets
12-foot lanes.
dragged out
centered
that
on the
I'll
right
go
of
back to
way,
the attorney. If
and
the, if
8-foot
the
shoulders. So that means
township
that
planning board
from the
has
center
heard
line
testimony
of the road.
and has,
to
because
the
there
new
are
curb
proofs
line is going
that are
to be
required to go on the
26
record for the granting of a waiver or
Inside,
variance.
it's 33
And the different
foot
proofs that
wide,
go on.
half-width
They have to be done at the local
Another
level,
7
level.
feet
right? They
to
get
go
the,
where
They
they
approve it.
sidewalk
can grant the
and
waiver.
utility
Now,
poles can go.
do we have a right to ignore the fact that a waiver or a variance that's granted?
Even though you're not.
Because
they're
the
saying,
ordinance-
they are saying,
Have to say you
what
really
they're
do know
saying
this
is,
stuff.
the town's saying is,
I don't do this every day.
it's not,
Sometimes
they have a good argument. We're dealing with a parking,
I-
this
I don't
thing
every
does not
day.
need more parking as our
Because I
opinion.
want to be clear.
It's
because I
affecting
have-
County
I have to
Road,
get a black
that's
pen
the
to pull
county's
them out of
problem.
the crap that they pull.
That's how they
And I'm
look at it,
getting up.
and it's true.
And believe me, my wife.
Well,
They say
tell me
that
all the
but
time,
by the meetings.
6 o'clock,
If the
she's
county
ready
won't
in the
like
morning.
it,
She's taken out.
they will
tonight.
deny. They're keeping us saying in the meetings. So this is what's happening is when they come to the county, they say, yes, hey, the township says that it's good, but it's not
So
true.
then,
There is no doubt that
it's half a lane.
this
This is
line
a
of
turning
approval.
lane.
Oh, okay.
And
So if you look,
It's on 3 lanes.
focus
I got it.
on
So
land
if you're
development
looking at
is
it,
reserved
you
by the
have
state constitution.
you have a lane that allows you
So
to do this.
they get the
and then
first
this
shot,
lane
they get
goes
to
this way, this lane
shape
goes
what
this
they
way,
want,
here's the
and
curb
then
line,
the
here's the curb
jurisdiction
line.
of the
So
county
this
is
is a
derived
12-foot lane,
the-
12-foot
For the
lane,
access.
12-foot
For the
lane.
access.
And
And
I'm
then
talking
the
about
turn.
access. I am
Which is
putting
what I'm showing
everything
here. So
in,
this-
all my
so
arguments
This is the
in the
center
access.
line of the road.
Because you learned yesterday, you
I
learned
learned
yesterday.
something. You flipped out. You told me that, and once you told me
Well,
that, I
that's
took
true.
it at face value, and I'm bombarding you on
It's the
it.
truth, but there'll be conditions
That's
along the
what
way
we're
of
telling the builders
how
to
far
build right now,
can you,
is
like
out
I
to
said,
this.
And
you can't deny
and
it,
we
but
will,
you can
we will
say,
argue
now
with each
might
other
be,
till I will
12,
see
but
the way you're seeing it.
always
Or
with,
it might be
our
at
intention
16
always with
feet.
So
the effect
maybe
of
it's-
protecting the county
maybe
roads
the
and the
existing
county at
pavement
large.
is here at 16
You understand
feet,
our
so
word
they would
about
have to
the
build
township and your
another
view
10
of
feet
how the
of
township
pavement
should
to
grow.
get to this new curb
And
line.
again, I cannot dictate you on that, but when it's by county
So this,
road,
this curb line is gonna be
18.
26
Well,
feet out.
if the township accepts the development.
And that gives us
generally the double yellow line.
Accept your waiver.
Not a
This is
separate,
the double yellow line,
The
6
review.
feet, 2.5 to the turning
We
lane.
still have to,
And
it
then
doesn't mean
12
we
foot for
accept
one-
the
for
town that
lane,
says, we think the
and
traffic
then
study was
8
fine.
foot
We're
for
doing
a
our own
shoulder.
review of that, our engineering
A
department
shoulder
is
so that
reviewing
you
it.
could
They may
walk
not
or
agree
you
with it.
ride
They may
a
see it's,
bicycle.
Break down, you
and the
look
guy
at
may
the
say,
road,
well,
pull
the
to
township's
side.
fine, we're not,
Not
because
to
it's
use for
affecting the
parking,
county
because
roads,
if you
and we're
start using it
saying,
for parking,
Well, when
you
you
want
give
to
variance, when you allow them to get those damn variances,
Well, we're
not
not-
you, not you, I'm saying when
We
they
don't
do,
want you to
and
have
then
a
you
parking
drive down
waiver
this county
because it's
line,
going to
I know you guys
affect
have no control,
our-
you know, you guys would.
Well, we get all the complaints from
You
people.
see,
I don't want to
I
go
got
over
from you
parking.
something
I'll tell you
yesterday
this.
and it's hard to pull back from it.
County.
You gave me something,
Many more.
now I'm holding on to it.
Well, that's all right. That we had, this is our jurisdiction.
Don't worry.
That's the truth.
You know,
That's what we have.
Yeah.
We
We'll,
don't,
we'll bring you a
push
nice
it
number of
anywhere.
votes, don't
That's
worry.
our jurisdiction now.
We have
And
625 miles of
the
road.
bus trains.
I know, that's why I came in,
uh,
that's why I took off.
to
I
deal
said,
with
"Come
that
on," I said, you guys really
are
do care.
set out
The
in
county does answer to many
the
more
statute
people
and in the
than
case law. So again,
So
can we,
we're
could we say,
trying-
we don't give
trying
the
to
waiver,
keep ahead of
therefore
it,
we're not gonna grant you
but the
access?
development is.
No, I'm not so sure we can, but the attorney would have to.
And
rule
where else
on
in
that.
Jersey?
What can we say?
We definitely
So-
don't county.
Glasses, you look at
This
it.
is
If it's a waiver,
This is
no,
what we're
but
telling the
if it's
developers.
affecting our
They-
road,
they have,
you could say, is even they didn't give them a waiver, it's still not enough parking,
That's
because
cross-
we know
I mean, just right
that
across
Lakewood is
Freehold.
different, you know, you could use that argument, because you're looking at it as just the access, not a waiver.
I'm gonna need this.
If you're looking at it as a waiver, we don't agree with your waiver, I guess you're right, that's a land use. But if you don't look at it as a waiver, we're not looking if you give a waiver or not, we're looking at it as if there's enough parking in our assessment, in the circumstances there's not.
So we.
Strictly on the traffic, then you
we
could, you
don't-
can't
we
look
don't
at
have
a
any
waiver or
authority
variances,
on-
but you can look at it.
because that would be the town that decide
Yeah,
whether or not.
I think
And
it's
some of that
good.
does derive, because
We
when you
don't
look
have
at,
any
Yeah, I'm good.
control
go
over
through,
then
we-
we-
so I can tell you're a
Well,
lawyer, I'm something
the only thing we.
when you go through and get your approval at planning board or zoning board for that
How
matter,
people can get in and
the
out
proofs for
of
that variance
the
or
site
that waiver,
to Make sure.
you've got to put on the record
driveway is
why.
wide enough so people.
So, I'll give you an example
Well,
of,
Lakewood need more
Or-
housing.
you know, there's certain things that are acceptable as proofs and not. An example would be, okay, you have a center, it's X amount of square feet, however,
We
the
also,
anchor store is a
while we
furniture
don't
store.
look at,
Well, a furniture
we
store
don't have any control
generates
over the
very
parking.
little
But
traffic
if we see
with a
that
very
an
large
application comes in.
floor space, because that's
and
the nature of their
he
business.
has
So you
10
could say,
parking
well, we don't need as many
but his
because
traffic report says he has 300
there
vehicles
is
going in
a
and out of
furniture store
that.
as the anchor,
How-
and they generate less
how can
traffic,
you- how
therefore,
can you
we can modify.
justify
What's a valid?
that
I'll
amount of parking,
I'll give you the
that
other side
amount of
too.
trips going in and
Second
out
would
of the
be
site.
the reverse.
So we
We're
make
gonna put in three
comment about
restaurants.
that
Well,
and say,
they generate a
show
hell
us
of a lot
where-
more
where-
traffic.
where's all your
So if you're
parking
gonna do that,
gonna
then we
go?
gotta rethink
We're not gonna have
that.
people
Third
parking
is
off the
shared
road.
parking.
Or
There are
how are people
operations
gonna
that,
get around your site
are mostly
if there's not enough room
daytime
for the
operations,
vehicles
some of
to
them are
maneuver on
nighttime
the site?
operations,
They have
and
to be
there's
able to get
a
onto the
mile
site.
in the
Once they
statute
get on,
to
as long as they
say
can get
you can.
off the county road
Talk about
safely,
shared parking.
in
I'll
and
give
out
you a
of the
different example.
driveway.
I know that's coming in.
It's up to them to design what's there, but we also want to make sure
Synagogues.
that they have adequate,
Synagogues in Lakewood.
you know, there's
Again,
adequate
I have another
accommodations.
question.
First 800 feet, they don't need any parking. Oh, so, the argument is that they use it for Saturday only. They won't. That's how Lakewood looks at it. But we know there's no such thing. You have to pray 3 times a day, including Sabbath. Now, when it comes to the county, you don't have to buy their land use law that they're claiming is that synagogues up to 800 feet doesn't need parking.
Correct.
You could say is, we know that you guys pray in the middle of the week and it's not allowed, so we're going to assume that it's going to be traffic, so we want, you don't have to calculate their land use to make your decision.
One of the
Works both
toughest,
ways.
I think, one of the toughest land uses to regulate traffic and parking are, it's not just synagogues, any religion, Catholic Church, a Episcopal church, no matter what religion it is, a mosque, because it's very hard to tell, because there is very little certainty. I've gone through these discussions with planning boards when I was mayor, of how do you know, the Institute of Traffic Engineers would say, well, we'll do one car for every 3 seats. But then you started getting into, well, that was a traditional model where people used to drive to church together, whether it be a synagogue, a mosque, or a church. Do they do that anymore? How many more smaller families are there? How many more people, you know? So they find that that is one of the uses that's very difficult to strike a number for.
But you could make your determination in deciding that on the factors of the ground. You know, you see what the standards of synagogues, how accumulate traffic, and saying, "Hey, listen, no parking is not acceptable, or 7 parking for." I'm not trying to go against synagogues. I know that's a hot topic.
Right.
I'm just using it as an example.
And usually the traffic study will say, it has to go to that a little bit, and they have that source where if they do what they call trip generation reports. Well, how many trips is that going to generate? And you look at the use dictates the trips, when you get to a religious house of worship, are hard to determine. How many trips is that going to be?
But you don't have to go accordingly to the traffic
Like,
study. You could go accordingly to practicality also, because you are at discretion. You're not binded by just, because if you're binded by traffic study, that's already a land use thing. You know,
Well, we could adjust the traffic, as we've said, based on factual data. Whether we think it was the wrong time, there was a count was taken, we think there was other accesses that needed to be counted. Because one thing that, like I said, especially the house of worship, which makes Lakewood particularly hard, because there's so many.
and they give so much lenience, and you must understand why they give them lenience. A guy goes and opens up a house of worship, he does a favor to the community. We're going to tell him now you have to buy 2 acres of land for parking. It's just he's doing a service, give him a break. That's the concept of giving breaks, and it's understandable, but it messes up.
From an empirical review standard, the standard is, well, no, we're not, whether it's churches, Catholic Church, the mosque, the synagogue, or wherever it is, we're not in the business of saying, let's encourage something, because if you do that, you have to be fair to everyone. Let's encourage more restaurants. Let's encourage more furniture stores. Well, what are you doing? Then you treat everyone more or less the same. So, and that becomes, again, a value judgment by the town. What do they want to encourage? Ours is an empirical review. How many cars are coming out of there? What kind of
You have
traffic
to look at
do we
your
need?
road.
Right.
I understand.
We're looking at our road. What does
And
that do?
my focus, you gave me very insight yesterday, is and I'm going to keep my focus and everything on the road.
You will make me sorry I met with you now? Is that what you're doing? Is that-
What?
You will make me sorry I met with you?
Oh.
Get a mind meld and you just.
Yeah, look at you. They tell me I talk too much here, they're right there.
But no, because if not, what would have happened is like in Lakewood. I get up by the meetings, I ask the questions, you know, and I get educated over there by the meetings. So the attorney will say is, I'm not over here to advise you law. So I get up the next time and I ask the same question again. And again he answers, I ask the question again. I usually get the answer by the 3rd time. But I get my answers, and then I go from there. So,
You got answer the first time, so we're ahead again.
so they could have done differently, is they could have sat down and answered the questions. I wouldn't have had to go on and make them look like. Yep. But again, my question today was it's more a moral thing, that your money is dictated by the town. And that is not acceptable.
Only to the extent of the one application you're talking about.
Yes.
All the other.
All the other issues not. That
It's not
thing
affected.
is,
It's that one,
That
and that
one.
one, the lawyer can take it all look at.
okay, thank you.
You know where we meet, right?
Yeah.
On the 3rd floor?
3rd floor, yeah.